Back with us on the SportsMax Zone on this Friday. SportsMax understands that officials of Professional Football Jamaica Limited (PFJL) are frustrated by the lack of communication with officials at the Ministry of Sport about the start of the new Premier League season. It's understood the PFJL, which has revamped the local top flight football competition in Jamaica, is upset at what they see as they are upset at what they see as a lack of urgency by the government to engage stakeholders. The Sport Ministry did issue a release on Wednesday inviting the heads of various sporting competitions to submit their resumption plans to facilitate the development of a roadmap. The chairman of PFJL, Chris Williams, joins us to discuss the issue. Good afternoon, Chris. Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Good. Now, we understand that, some of your members, the leadership of the PFJL, not so happy with the urgency from the government side to engage them, to give a better idea of when you will be able to start this very important competition, the new Premier League season. Is that a fair reflection of the feeling of yourself and your colleagues at the PFJL?
I wouldn't put it. No, I wouldn't put it that that aggressively. I mean, the desire is there. We're anxious. We're anxious. We have been waiting for some time now, and so we're anxious. But I must say that we're happy with the release that was made on Wednesday, and that has given us some positive feelings. So we're feeling a lot better today than we were, earlier in the week, and we also understand that discussions are taking place between the various ministries. And they're seeking to put the protocols in place to present them to us. So we are anxious, but we know now that the Ministry of Sport is working on our behalf behind the scenes.
So here's the thing, though, Chris. Here's the thing, because reading the text of the release, I read it for a couple of things. One, to see for those sports that have not engaged the ministry just yet, what is it that the ministry's message to them is? To me, that was clear from the statement that they're saying to those who haven't engaged them yet, send us your plans and we will work together to streamline. So that's them. But for organizations such as yours, which I know from day one have been keen to engage, to say, well, this is what we intend to do. These are our timelines. Tell us what we need to do. We need some of the things that we have to do to be able to come to you at a first meeting. But beyond that, tell us what we want to do. Reading the statement, I didn't see enough to suggest that you, who I would assume to be advanced in your planning, and came to them with something that there was enough in it to satisfy you that yes, we are close or we are far away, to give you some indicator. And I want to tell you to tell me if I'm wrong in my interpretation.
No, looking at this statement in its bare form, I agree with you. But we have been having discussions behind the scenes, and those discussions with members of the team at the Ministry of Sport, and with members of the team of the Ministry of Health, they have been indicating to us that we will be responding to very shortly. So having received that kind of feedback, we're feeling a lot better that they are in fact reviewing the protocols in an aggressive manner now, and we are expecting to be contacted anytime now.
Of course, Chris, you know that the rumor mill is in high gear and all sorts of things are flying around. I hear people talking about vaccines for players, and I'm saying to them that would be political suicide, and no government is going to give athletes the vaccine before frontline healthcare workers and other vulnerable groups. So that's not happening. But amid all that, how much lead time would the PFJL need to have the first ball kicked in the competition? Is it that you need 2 weeks notice, 3 weeks, a month? How much lead time?
Our ideal at this stage is 4 weeks. Our ideal is 4 weeks because we want to get the players up and running and get them, fit so that we don't have any injuries and so on. So that is the ideal. So from today we'll be looking more like the middle of February to get started, and so we are meeting as myself and my committee chairman are meeting on Monday to look at how we get the planning going. So we're readying ourselves. We're in discussions on all aspects. As you know, we've signed a number of sponsors. We've signed broadcast. We're doing venue tours next week. We are readying ourselves. We're looking at gears. We're in discussions with JFF on the registrations and so on. So I expect us to be in a ready zone by the end of January, first week of February.
Yes.
To be able to kick a ball.
Yes. So if it is, in terms of the clubs involved in the league, thank God we know who the teams are. In terms of those teams, I'm sure that they have been calling on your body to say, well, okay, you don't know yet. What do we do in terms of training? Because you know very well that you have to taper training, you have to tailor the training session. What do they do?
That's the biggie. The biggie is giving them the go-ahead to resume training. The good news is that the Ministry of Health has given us the trick that we can resume training, but of course there's a financial aspect to it and a player performance level to it. So you don't really want to train, and you don't know if or when the league is going to start. So most of the teams discontinued training. So we are now, we don't want to give the go-ahead to resume training until we have a firm position from the ministries. So that is the middle ground that we're seeking to balance. And as I said, we are expecting to be contacted next week based on we were written to by the Ministry of Sport that they will be contacting us, and based on information that we're receiving from various sources, they are working behind the scenes. And they're putting the necessary structures in place to come to us with our position. So we're feeling a little bit more positive, and we're hoping that next week we will get some traction.
One last one before we go to the break, and we ask you to stay with us, Chris. I know that you are in the process of finalizing your slate of sponsors and meeting the target that you communicated to the public early. You say you're 80% of target, which is of course very good because you still have time to complete the 100. Is it that until everything is done and all sponsors are in place and you have a start time for the league, is it that until that time you can't give any financial assistance to the clubs to assist them with training and the expenses that are attendant to training? So is it that you can't give them anything until then, and do they then have to find a way to swim, to keep floating until such time, or are you able to assist now? Straighten that out for me.
We can't assist now because we don't have any money. The sponsors that have committed are only going to cut a check if a league is being played. So while we have letters of intent, we could not sign contracts until we got approval from the ministry to proceed with hosting a league. So we don't have any cash in hand at this time. We have 9 letters of intent signed. And funds committed, but we don't actually have the funds yet. So we have to wait until we get an approval Once we get the approval, we can sign the contracts and begin to accept deposits on the sponsorship contracts. Then we will be able to mobilize subventions to the various clubs.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Stay where you are, Chris Williams, Chairman of Professional Football Jamaica Limited. They have revamped the top flight football competition in Jamaica, and they have their ducks in a row, just waiting on the government green light to get the ball rolling, and that can't come too soon. Chris Williams will stay with us and rejoin us after this break. You're watching the SportsMax Zone.